I think it's a tough time for, anyone that's a professional athlete, anyone that's self-employed, because, everything's come to a standstill really. So, I mean, the thing for me as a professional squash player is we don't really get much time that we have to, that you're forced to stay at home and train, or you're forced to have some rest. So it's just trying to be positive about the whole situation. For me, it's quite nice to get a bit of routine and be at home with, family and stuff, and take care of all. For me, I've had quite a few niggles, so I'm trying to look at the situation as a positive really, and see that I can, try and eradicate all the little weaknesses I've had in my body over the last 12 months, and work on a couple of weaknesses that I've been struggling with, and get in the gym a little bit more, depending on obviously your environment. I'm pretty fortunate that I've got some facilities here that I can keep on top of my training. And it's I think there's no point in getting worried about losing fitness or losing being on court, and it's just trying to maintain and do as much as you can and stay in good enough shape that when we are able to get back on tour and train again, that you haven't decreased, or you haven't made such a big enough gap that it's going to take you so long to get back to your level, or if not better.
So what do you do on a daily basis? You're saying you're working on your weaknesses or improving your strengths. What do you do?
Still working with my strength conditioning coach, so I get program off him every day. So I have probably like 3 different sections of a workout that I got to do each day, which is good. Keeps me, motivated, keep me doing something fresh every day. But he also is sending me kind of challenges, like 20-minute challenges or 30-minute challenges, something to do as quick as possible, like a routine, or kind of like exercises like 100 burpees, 100 press-ups, 200 squats, and then like a mile on the treadmill. So there's loads of things I'm trying to keep active and do. And I think for me at the moment now, with the tour being postponed till at least July, it's trying to just keep in good enough shape. I'm not trying to stress about doing too much, but for me, it's like, I get up, have my coffee, I try and do one session in the morning, or maybe do a bit of mobility. I try and do like one mobility thing a day, whether that's like stretch, yoga, or like a recovery bike, or like a slow run, something that's, helping the body. I'm trying to eat as well as I can, and then I'll probably do one hard session a day. Yeah, I had a little bit of a niggle with my adductor just before Christmas, and while I was rehabbing through that, I just come back my first week back after the Christmas break. I tore my calf on my right side, which I've done before through running. Normally, a lot of off season, high impact kind of my calves do seem to struggle. So now I've started to wear, the compression calf sleeves pretty much every session. Yeah, I've been wearing them on courts, and then now obviously off season I've been wearing them when I'm doing my running sessions, just to try and limit the movement between my muscle and my bone. I think with the instability of my ankles and how flexible the tendons are in my ankles, because I do roll them a lot. I think with my calf, rather than it just moving up and down, I think because there's instability in my ankles, I think my calf is almost moving too much and having to compensate for the lack of stability in my ankles. So with the compression, I can just kind of keep it a little bit more
Stable,
keep the calf. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just a little bit more supported, so that I'm not getting as much movement in the calf and not putting as much stress on it. So for me, it's so far so good. It's holding up, and I've changed my running a little bit. I'm doing a lot more kind of hill based running rather than flat, so there's less full impact on the foot. So far so good.
Do you run a lot outside right now?
At the moment, no. I'm doing more just on the treadmill, trying to do it on incline, so that there's I can kind of monitor a little bit better. I do find these days, the older I've got, and with the amount of impact that I'm getting from when I playing squash on a normal day-to-day basis, that when I do run outside, especially on the hard tarmac, my body seems to really struggle for a couple of days after, and my calves tense up quite quickly. So for me, like
Mm-hmm.
treadmill, I find where I can put it on an incline and there's less, like harsh impact really, to be honest, and you get a little bit of the give from the treadmill. And for me, that's is keeping me kind of being able to train on a day-to-day basis rather than like doing a brutal run and then for like another day and a half, the body's struggling and I can't put in another good session. So for me, when I did have the issue with my adductor and the minor tear I had there, it was the one day I wasn't wearing compression. So I don't know if that was psychologically and or mentally, I kind of, was a little bit sore and I didn't feel as stable. But for me, it's a bit of everything really. I use the compression for prevention, but also just for peace of mind. It makes me feel a bit more comfortable. Like makes me also be more confident in the movements, like full lunging or running at a higher tempo. For me, it's like it almost gives me that. It reminds me of when I used to play rugby. The boys just say if you wear a scrum cap, they could tackle harder because they had the confidence of like they were protected a little bit. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, when I wear the compressors, like I feel like I'm a little bit protected from doing any damage. So I feel like I could train a bit harder. I can run a bit faster. I can lunge a bit harder. So
Yes.
like lunge a bit deeper. So for me, it's a bit of prehab. It's a bit of confidence, and it's something that works well for me. So
Now that you're not on the tour, are you giving yourself more? Are you indulging more, or are you still keeping a healthy diet? Well, talk to us about that, please.
maybe I'm eating a bit healthier because I can monitor it a little bit more than when we are on tour. We seem to, it depends on where you are in the world and how much you can control what you eat, or, if you're drinking oat milk or if you're having less sugar in or salt in your diet. So being able to eat at home and cook at home now, I feel like my diet's improved and I feel healthier really. Um, I'm having, I don't have sugar in my coffees anymore. I drink oat milk and, I eat pretty healthy throughout the day. I'm not putting in, there isn't an option to eat fast food, even though I don't eat fast foods. I mean, I've been speaking to a lot of other guys on tour, some of my friends, and everyone seems to be doing something. I think it's because people are locked at home. I think everyone's jumped on the bandwagon of we've got to do something. We can't just laze around and do nothing all day. Otherwise, if we do start the tour in 6 months' time, there's going to be a lot of people who are left behind, or it's going to take them a long time to get back to where they were or what ranking they were at. So some will take, advantage of it more than others, and depending on which country you're situated in, I guess access to courts or facilities could come at different points of the month or date. And I'm pretty fortunate with the facilities I've got here that I can keep on top of a lot of work that I have been doing. And I think I'm looking at it as a good chance to get my body feeling as well as I possibly can. And as soon as we're able to get back on court, I think we will.
Great. Thank you for your time. Did I forget any questions that you'd like me to ask you?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered all bases.